President Bush is out of touch with rank-and-file Americans because he favors the rich at the expense of the middle class.
I believe that together we can make America great again.
Bill Clinton is very formidable.
But that's the same thing President Trump is saying. It's just history repeating itself. Past presidents said most of those things over and over again. It's nothing new. So why American people acting so stupid? I believe they're jealous over President Trump and they don't want him there. But they're crazy. If they never wanted him there, why did they put him there in the first place? It doesn't make sense to me. That is annoying. It's so crazy.
And he proves early on.
Wow. Holy smokes. Jesus Christ.
In Little Rock, Arkansas, Governor Bill Clinton makes it official.
Clinton said President Bush is out of touch with rank-and-file Americans because he favors the rich at the expense of the middle class.
I believe that together we can make America great again.
Bill Clinton is very formidable, and he proves early on to understand the major vulnerability of George H.W. Bush, and that's the economy.
And that is why today I proudly announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
Americans compete for fewer jobs, and it's a sure bet unemployment will be growing again by Election Day.
83,000 jobs gone.
Another 140,000 Americans became unemployed.
I know the pain up here. I've heard about the lost homes and the shattered lives. We had won the Cold War, and I thought instead of putting all these countries abroad first, it was time that we started looking out for our own country and our own people. All of these things led me to believe that if no...
And that's the same thing President Trump's saying. That's what I said. History just repeating itself. It's nothing new. Oh my God, the people are so crazy. It's annoying.
But he's going to do it. I think I might.
Wow. They're so stupid. I mean, extremely crazy. Is annoying.
Unemployment will be growing again by Election Day.
83,000 jobs gone.
Another 140,000 Americans became unemployed.
I know the pain up here. I've heard about the lost homes and the shattered lives. We had won the Cold War, and I thought instead of putting all these countries abroad first, it was time that we started looking out for our own country and our own people. All of these things led me to believe that if nobody's going to do it, I think I might.
He is yesterday, and we are tomorrow. And so, I am declaring my candidacy for the Republican nomination for President of the United States.
Pat Buchanan is a super smart, super ideological guy who worked in the Nixon administration and was really pushing Nixon to the right. Pat Buchanan becomes George Bush's worst nightmare. He starts talking to the American people who are feeling a little unsure as the Reagan prosperity engine sputters.
All those who are with us can come on in.
While George Bush was an excellent foreign policy president, he was not a good politician.
No, to get to that.
Let me quote the words of one Arab leader, Saddam Hussein himself.
And they would pick this up or take it out of my pocket?
Well, that's what I want to find out. If you take it out of your pocket, then you got to have your coat open, don't you, to do that?
George Bush was a little bit awkward. It's like he's pretending to be a politician. He did not look forward to the '92 election.
To deflect public criticism of his foreign travels, the president said his trip to Japan was about jobs, jobs, jobs. The result was hardly what his image makers hoped for.
The lone camera in the dining room was locked in on the head table when President Bush was overcome by nausea and fell forward. It appears he lost consciousness as he toppled over onto his host, Prime Minister Miyazawa.
This man who had overseen the soft landing of the Cold War, who had been commander-in-chief for a brilliant victory against Iraq, would be viewed as a weak leader. He vomited into the lap of the Japanese Prime Minister, and it was caught on tape. The timing, the optics, it couldn't have been worse, and he knew it. The primaries were about to begin.
When I get the flu, I do it in a very dramatic way, but it was so embarrassing.
This is a 92-vote special report from ABC News.
Good evening, I'm Peter Jennings. A brief interruption for an update on the New Hampshire presidential primary. Tonight, the voters of New Hampshire very concerned with the state of the economy, their own particularly. have given President Bush an unpleasant surprise. Although ABC News has projected a victory for the president, conservative commentator Patrick Buchanan is likely to get more than 40% of the vote.
Pat Buchanan is able to get that critical mass of people with his media skills, with his charisma, to really create a big rift in the Republican Party.
H. Ross Perot, the Texas billionaire with lots of ideas. By the way, is there any scenario in which you would run for president?
Number one, I will not run as either a Democrat or Republican, because I will not sell out to anybody but to the American people. And I will sell out to them.
Ross Perot went on Larry King and announced,
there we go. We all need to be independent. Forget about Democrats or Republicans. Forget that nonsense. Those people crazy. Jeez.
He was going to run for president as an independent.
I don't want any money from anybody but you.
I didn't win the nomination, but I think Ross Perot saw what we did, saw the vulnerability.
Yeah, they're crazy. We just need to go independent and be independent and stay independent and forget about them and let them forget about us.
Is likely to get more than 40% of the vote.
Pat Buchanan is able to get that critical mass of people with his media skills, with his charisma, to really create a big rift in the Republican Party.
H. Ross Perot, the Texas billionaire with lots of ideas. By the way, is there any scenario in which you would run for president?
Number one, I will not run as either a Democrat or Republican, because I will not sell out to anybody but to the American people. And I will sell out to them.
Ross Perot went on Larry King and announced he was going to run for president as an independent.
I don't want any money from anybody but you.
I didn't win the nomination, but I think Ross Perot saw what we did, saw the vulnerability of Bush, and made his decision right then to go.
Well, there's one thing for sure. Ross Perot's unorthodox way of campaigning has struck a chord with many voters.
He bought a half hour on NBC to talk about his plan for curing what ails the economy.
Ross Perot, plain talk about jobs, debt, and the Washington mess.
I thought it would be a good idea to take the most important problem first. That problem is our economy and jobs.
Out of nowhere comes Ross Perot, this straight-talking billionaire who looks a little goofy for the age of television, but because he has that old Southern charm, that old Texas twang, he's able to evoke an old-fashioned America that Pat Buchanan is also evoking, that George Bush is not able to evoke effectively. And Ross Perot starts running against George H.W. Bush as an ineffective steward of the Reagan Revolution.
Let me just go on record one time tonight. We can win.
The Ross Perot phenomenon reached new heights. In California, it was Perot 38%, Bush 32%, Clinton 20%.
Ross Perot was making inroads. The White House was just furious and scared. If he continued to attract Republican voters, then Bush was going to lose.
That's right.
You know, Geico just...
And that's exactly what they're doing now. They're so inferior, intimidated, and so afraid, and so scared of President Donald Trump. Exactly what they did to that guy is the same thing they're doing to President Trump right now. They're so afraid of him because he speaks his mind and he has his own money. He does what he wants to do. He listens, but he's his own person. He's not going to sit around and let everybody push him around and walk all over him and tell him to jump and how to jump and when to sit down and shut up. Look, it's about time. Let the president be president. Let them do their thing. President in other part of the world, they do the stuff. But president in America, it's like they're not president. It's like Congress is more president than the American president. Why do you guys need president if Congress is going to run the show? I've been asking this question over and over. Nobody answered yet. You don't need a president if you have everybody else running the show. Then run the goddamn show all by yourself. And forget about having president. And just forget about Democrats and Republicans, please. Because the Democratic people, they are so deceitful. They hypocrites. They pretend to love black people. They pretend to be our friends. They act like they care about us. But they just want us to put them in power, to let them do what they want to do. Let everybody just be independent. Forget about all the crap. Call it a day. Move on. Life goes on. And that would be the best thing.
Hundreds of dollars on my car insurance.
Huh. I should take a closer look at Geico.
Geico has a 97...
was booed and forced to retreat.
I think that too often many black elected officials have conned white America by telling them when they want them here, letting them go to bed feeling everything is cool, and it's not cool.
We will come together and do those things necessary to protect everyone.
There was no one truth. The blacks, of course, called that a murder. The Jews called...
Wow. Holy
Crown Heights to
smokes.
try and ease tensions, he was booed and forced to retreat.
I think that too often many black elected officials have conned white America by telling them when they want them here.
Oh my God, this man was big and fat. Holy smokes. He's so skinny now. Oh, Jesus. Something happened to you, buddy? You sick or something? Because over here, you look like you were 400 pounds, boy. Now you look like you 60 pounds, man. Holy smokes. Wow. Jesus. Holy crap.
Mayor Dinkins went to Crown Heights to try and ease tensions. He was booed and forced to retreat.
I think that too often many black elected officials have conned white America by telling them when they want them here, letting them go to bed feeling everything is cool, and it's not cool.
We will come together and do those things necessary to protect everyone.
There was no one truth. The blacks, of course, called that a murder. The Jews called it an accident. There were two completely different realities.
David Dinkins was trying to please everybody, and he was being pulled in all these different directions, trying to prove that he wasn't just the black mayor.
Your mayor works for you. You got Commissioner Brown working for you.
Similar tensions are simmering in cities across America. Legions of young black men and women, unemployed and losing hope, believe they have been abandoned by the larger society, and they are angry.
New York City is symptomatic of what's happening in the nation in the early 1990s and what one writer describes as a season of racial tension. And it really is complicated by the fact that you have African Americans dealing with stifling poverty and inequality and police injustice that's being perpetrated against communities of color. Rodney King in 1991 exposed some of that when his beating is captured on camera.
In Los Angeles, outrage grows over a videotape of police beating an unarmed motorist.
Explosive case involving white police officers
beating a man they had just pulled over.
An amateur cameraman recorded it all.
We here in Los Angeles was just struck by the maliciousness of what we saw, the inhumane sense of this person struggling on the ground, being battered repeatedly.
This is 1991 and things haven't changed as far as minority is concerned. If you're black and you're Mexican, you're going to have a problem with law enforcement.
City officials have received thousands of angry phone calls from across the United States.
That's not true, not in all cases. So you guys need to get the thing straight. Say it the right way. Jeez.
The K video hit. Everybody in the hood was like, okay, finally, they caught him. What's going to happen now? Now they've shown a lynching on TV.
Multiple officers from multiple agencies witnessed this, and not one single officer that night ever reported that anything had gone wrong. That, to me, suggests that there's a deeper problem than just a couple bad apples.
Another widely publicized incident captured on videotape has become a focus for ethnic tensions between the Black and Korean communities in Los Angeles.
2 weeks after the Rodney King video goes worldwide, a young girl in South Central Los Angeles walks into a Korean American-owned grocery store to get a bottle of orange juice.
The security camera caught the dispute. Store owner Soon Ja-do thought 15-year-old Latasha Harlins was going to steal some orange juice. There was a scuffle. Harlan struck Do, then turned to leave the store. Do produced a handgun and shot Harlins in the back of the head.
That it should come so quickly after King, and both should be on video, I think really had the sense for many people of saying, okay, now we finally have evidence of what we've been complaining about.
A jury convicted Do of voluntary manslaughter. Judge Joyce Carlin sentenced Do to parole and community service, but no jail time.
You get away with murder. You can have a black person killed with a video with eyewitnesses, and this is what you'll get.
Stop killing our children! We want justice!
The case has become a symbol of tensions between African Americans and the Koreans who become successful merchants in many of the poorest black neighborhoods.
South Los Angeles had been kind of abandoned by a lot of commercial entities. There weren't many markets, so liquor stores became like the stand-in, the place that you would go for cigarettes, diapers, milk, whatever.
Why don't you open a market that we can use for our family?
Go back to Korea. Every time I want to go get a I gotta go down to the store with the two. Oriental 1 penny count, motherfuckers. They make a nigga mad enough to cause a little bucket.
Rapper Ice Cube continues to draw heavy fire for the scabrous lyrics on his new album, Death Certificate. On the album, he threatens to burn down the stores of Korean grocers if they don't treat black customers with more deference.
That album was in my headphones for like the whole year. Cube was reflecting on his experiences with Koreans, and a lot of Asians didn't have a voice at that time, so there was no way for us to really talk back.
We'll burn your store right down to a crisp, and then we'll see ya, cause you can't let it get in the black Korea.
I just tell what's real, you know, if the truth hurts, say ouch. But I ain't sorry about it at all.
Wow.
When I heard that sound, I knew there was a big adventure waiting.
Without moving yourself, the world would come to you.
Everybody went out and caught Windows 95.
When we look back 100 years from now, this is a point where we're going to say this is where everything changed.
The 90s, Sunday at 9.
You're unbelievable.
And that's so true. I've been saying it. Oh, smokes. Everything started turning around big time in the 90s. I said it over and over. Yep. If you open your eyes and if you're clever, you will know your surroundings. You will know your environment. You will know the atmosphere. You will see it, you will smell it. If it's good atmosphere, if the air is fresh and nice, everything stopped. In the 90s, after that, America went bloop, 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 down the drain they went. And that is so true. So when some of us talking, and some people be like, shut up, you don't live in America, you live in Canada. So what? I have family in America, okay? My family still live in that place, all right? I have friends and relatives over there, okay? I lived there for many years, all right? And America is supposed to be one of the greatest, or the greatest land on this planet, okay? So America, everybody's looking up to America, all right? So you guys need to stop telling other people to shut up when we know what we're talking about. And if we're talking something good, do not tell your friend to shut up because they don't live in America. They don't have to live in America to talk. We live on this earth and we can talk any part of the world. We want to talk, we can talk. If we see something not right, we can speak on it. The truth hurts so be it. But if you're saying it in a respectable way, in a way that people will understand, in a way you can help other people, then say it. Why not? And if nobody like it, they should close their ears or put ear plugs in their ears so they shouldn't hear you talking. Plain, blank, and simple.